This is DRF Race of the Day.
Hey everybody, Mike Beer here with Wednesday's DRF Race of the Day. We're going down to Gulfstream Park for race number 9. It's an entry-level allowance, optional claimer for fillies and mares. Going to go a mile and a 16th on the new, relatively new, Tapeta surface down there at Gulfstream Park. Field of 10 fillies and mares entered. Here's your field right now. It's a pretty good one, sort of a wide-open kind of race. There are two shorter prices on the morning line, two horses who make a lot of sense, lightly raced 3-year-old fillies. In the number 6, Sweet Serenade, who's your 5-2 morning line favorite coming down from Woodbine. And the number 8, Grand Avenue Girl, off of a big maiden win in her surface debut down here at Gulfstream Park last time with an 81 buy. They're the two favorites. They make a lot of sense. They both have upside. We'll see how that all plays out. But I think there are other options in here. It's not like those two horses are sort of made horses and have everything going their way here. They're going to face some more experienced rivals this time. So we'll see how it all plays out. But they're both pretty nice horses. I'm going to get to those two later because we're going to show replays of their most recent races. It's just a wide open kind of a race. Again, field of 10. It feels like pace could be pretty important in here because certainly when you're talking about the recent maiden breaker, Grand Avenue Girl, and we'll throw up the Timeform US pace projector right now. They have the number 8 Grand Avenue Girl out there on a clear early lead at the pace call, and that was the case when she broke her maiden most recently. Just got absolutely loose on the lead, never faced a challenge, and never looked back, and it was really impressive winning. I feel like it's got to be harder. Timeform US thinks she's going to be clear again on the lead. I feel like it's got to be harder for her to get there this time. There is other speed. You can see both the 1 and the 2 fillies drawn to the inside post positions. They're projected to be up close, and I won't be surprised if they are. They're two horses that are drawn well, that can be forward in the race, and I feel like they just got to use their speed in here to try to get a position. So I'm hoping the pace is a little bit faster. Maybe Grand Avenue Girl has to work a little harder this time, and it makes her job that much tougher. But, certainly she's a player in this race. Let's start by talking about those two horses drawn to the inside, though. Number 1 is Tatella. She's off of a little bit of a layoff here. She's never run on a synthetic surface. 4 starts so far. All of them are on turf. I thought she ran pretty well in every one of her starts. She's only 1 for 4 so far. The maiden win came 2 back in August at Indiana. She got a perfect trip that day. But she got a perfect trip that day because she had speed. She ran to the first turn. She sat right in behind the leader. She got through on the rail. And I thought she was, a fairly convincing winner that day, holding off a 4-5 favorite to the wire to prevail. Her most recent start came going 7 furlongs at Kentucky Downs back in September. Joel Rosario riding that day. He just took her back under a pretty good hold early. He stayed on the inside. I understand why Joel, especially on that day, Kentucky Downs, wanted to save ground with her. That was a day where it felt like the inside paths were an advantage at Kentucky Downs. He wanted to stay down there. But in doing so, he just got this horse blocked. She really had nowhere to go to about the 3/16 pole, maybe a little bit past that. He had to move her around a little bit. She ultimately, I don't think she ever got fully clear, but she had some room to run, never made a real impact, but she was racing on. I think that was an okay performance last time, maybe a little bit better than it looked as well. And she's, just very lightly raced with some upside. I like those things about her. I also like the fact that she's drawn inside here with some speed. So Junior Alvarado, if he catches a break here, can just go forward with her. If he doesn't make the lead, just sit right up close. This is a more than ready filly who's out of a dam. Project Rose, who ran 13 times in her career on a synthetic track, and she won 7 of those races. All 7 of her career wins came over a synthetic track. She earned over $250,000. She was a pretty nice horse. So this filly has the pedigree to handle this surface switch. She's got some tactical speed from the inside. She's got some upside. Her new trainer, Christopher Davis, is going to take over from Brad Cox here, which, maybe isn't a great thing, but Christopher Davis does a good job. And if you look him up in Formulator over the last 5 years, first after a trainer change on a synthetic track, Christopher Davis, 7 for 23, 30%. The ROI is $5.26. So he has a good record with horses like this. I think there's a lot to like about Tatella, especially at the 10-1 morning line. Number 2 is Omnia, a horse that we did see forward on that pace projector. She has the surface question to answer. She's never run on a synthetic track. 4 wins so far in her career on turf. 4 wins so far in her career on dirt. She's won her last 4 starts. Most of those against, weaker competition, including just a blowout win in a race rained off the turf to a sloppy track at Monmouth 2 starts back. But she's in really good form right now for a really good trainer and has the speed to be forward. I won't be surprised if she handles synthetic and runs her race here. Number 3, big long shot, Reina de Verano, 50-1 on the morning line, right off of her maiden win. The last time we saw her, end of August, in a maiden 10 claimer on the turf at Colonial Downs, where she just came from way out of it and got up. She looks like she's in very tough here. Number 4, Double Blessed, 4-1 on the line. Mike Deeney, very good trainer. Another 3-year-old filly making her surface debut here. She's a turf horse and she's a closer. It feels like those two things, might be enough to get you looking in another direction if she's around that 4-1 morning line. But I do think she really is a nice fit here as far as talent goes. She has the talent to go with these horses. She's just 1 for 12 so far, but she's, running some really tough spots. Actually held her own in some stakes races throughout the summer on the grass. We'll see if she can work out a trip in this race, because I think trips are going to be very important to her. But she's not bad at all. I think she's a nice fit here. As far as her level of ability goes. We'll see if she gets a trip and handles the surface. Number 5, Looking Like a Queen, 12-1 on the morning line. She's one of the few horses in here with a win already over this new Tapeta surface here at Gulfstream Park. 2 starts back, they made the surface switch with her. She got the job done with a 78 buyer. That's a figure that's going to give her a chance, even against a field like this. Now, that win came versus a much weaker field. They stepped her up to this level in her most recent start at the end of October, and she just wasn't competitive that day. She was no match for those horses. She wound up finishing last at 5-2. So, I guess if you feel like there's a chance she bounces back here and can run back to something like that 78 2 starts back, you could use her, and she is 12-1 on the morning line, so you're going to get a better price. I've lost a little bit of confidence in her. I think this is a tough spot for her once again, but if you do like her, she has a race that makes her competitive, and she'll be a price this time. Number 6 is Sweet Serenade, the morning line favorite. We talked about her in the open. She's won twice on a Tapeta surface up at Woodbine in her last 2 starts. I liked her maiden win, 3 back on the turf. I thought she ran well that day, and I think both of her starts on the synthetic surface up there have been fine as well. We're going to look at a replay right now for her most recent start back in early November. It's going this distance. They just rated this horse to the back of the pack at the start, let her improve her position basically on her own power up the backstretch, got in behind the leaders around the second turn. You can see there in the stretch she's blocked, just holding her position in there, needing room. Personally, I think this all works out pretty well for her. She gets the split. She has a look at this thing, and she's just sort of outfinished by the winner. The winner, Dreidl's a pretty nice horse. To me, Sweet Serenade, even with the little bit of being held up there in traffic, I think all in all she got a good trip last time, and she was only second best. But I still thought she ran well. And being rated back behind a slow pace like that didn't do her any favors. I wonder if they'll be able to get more aggressive with her, get her more forward. Her last 3 starts have all been races where they just took her back and tried to make one run with her. I wonder if they can get her a little closer to the pace this time. She's going to need a new rider. Irad Ortiz has named her right. He's going to start serving a suspension. So we'll see who picks up the mount. But, obviously, I think any way you sort of slice this race up, Sweet Serenade's a major player in her. She's just run well in all of her starts. She's very lightly raced, and you don't have to worry really about the surface. So there's a lot to like there. Mirabelle Mai, a horse that's coming down from New York. She's okay as a turf horse. I can't say that I've been her biggest fan up there. She's sort of, that deep closing type of turf filly, more of a claiming type as well. They're going to step her up in class here as they switch surfaces with her, and I guess just hope that she gets a little bit of pace to run at and works out a trip. She's not bad. I'm not going to sit here and knock her. She's 15-1 on the morning line. I think there is a race that she has in here that would make her really competitive in here at a price. So if you like her, especially if she's around that 15-1 morning line, I think you should bet her. She's second off the claim here for Matthew O'Connor. He's not a bad trainer at all. So I feel like there are things to like with this horse. Not for me. I'm going to look in a different direction. But if you like her, I think you should bet her. You're going to get a good price on her. Number 8, Grand Ave Girl. Is the horse that we showed on the lead in the pace projector, another very lightly raced 3-year-old filly. We're going to look at a replay of that maiden win we were talking about right now here. This is her most recent start. It's her first time on this Tapeta surface. Just got right to the front here. Broke on top, opened a clear lead around the first turn, and you could just never face the challenge at any point in this race. You can see her as they turn into the stretch on a huge lead. There's nobody around. She's never in any danger in this race and just wins very easily, sort of driven out to the end there. It was a big step forward for her. She had shown speed in the past. Obviously, just sort of a nice combination of finding the right field and getting the right trip last time. But she really improved. And maybe it's, you could just look at her and say, you know what, they paid a lot of money for her. She got to the kind of surface that she really liked last time when she took a step forward. That's fine. I don't think I would bet her at a short price. I think this is going to be a tougher race for her. I think there's more speed for her to have to deal with. And I just don't want to, concede to her being that good because she just had everything her own way last time. She's the kind of horse that I would be trying to bet against at a short price, but she could win this race. The 2 outside horses, both by Kitten's Joy. The number 9 is Serenade, a kitten. Listen, she's a filly who won twice early on when Mike Maker dropped her in class on turf. She was claimed away from Maker for 35, and she won her first 2 starts off the claim from Mary Upler, also on turf. So she's a 4-time winner. She just tends to show up and run the same race every single time. She probably needs, maybe a little bit of pace. 2 of her last 3 starts on turf courses at Laurel. They've just taken her back and tried to make a late run with her. But prior to that, she showed more tactical speed. Didn't think she was impossible. There are things working against her here, but another filly you're going to get a price on if you like her. The 10 designed by Kitten. I don't know. I'm not going to knock this horse. She only has 3 starts so far. She's 2 for 2 on synthetic. Easy winner, showing speed first time out, going 5 furlongs as a 2-year-old. Ran pretty well, actually, in a stakes race, sprinting on the grass in her second start. And then she missed over a year. She was away for a very long time. She came back racing cheaply at the end of November over this Tapeta surface here at Gulfstream Park, going 5.5. And she came from off the pace with a strong finish and won easily again. So I think she's run well in all 3 of her starts. She's off the claim now for actually a very good trainer. She is a Kitten's joy, so you would hope that she would be able to stretch out, but she's going to have to do it while stepping up in class and while stretching way out in distance. And so we'll see if she handles all those things. I didn't think she was impossible at a pretty big price in here. It feels like she could be an okay price, 15 to 1 on the line. So I didn't talk myself into her, but I think she has a chance to win this race. Let's put the picks up there now. Kind of just wanted to be against the shorter prices in here. You know, I guess of the 2 favorites in the race, I would prefer Sweet Serenade. Again, just mostly because Grand Avenue Girl is just really hard for me to get a handle on with that soft trip last time. So I put the 6th second in here, Sweet Serenade, the morning line favorite. I wanted to try to beat her with Totella. I just thought that there were things to like about the horse drawn to the rail, and I hope that they go forward. I hope she catches a break here and goes forward after the start and can maybe land in a trip in this race. I think she might be a little underrated. 10 to 1, if you can get anything like that, seems like a very fair price to me. So I put Totella on top in the Wednesday race of the day. It's Gulfstream Park's 9th race. The approximate post time is 4:32 Eastern time. Good luck.